You know, just when I start to pull out of this fight, shit like what Farah Fatherless, or whatever the hell she calls herself, and MarzGurl pop back up to drag me back in. For those who don't know who Farah Fatherless is, for anyone who watched a Vic stream on Twitch a couple of weeks back, she was someone who was a fan of Vic's, who was actually one of the individuals to help keep him at Back Anime and even have him invited to next year's event. Couldn't do this year. For those wondering why Vic didn't show up at this year's Back Anime event in Bakersfield, California, scheduling issue as he was holding a tour of of the Neutral Zone studio in Kingsland, Georgia that weekend, so he couldn't do it. Which means that he's doing next year's tour around Mother's Day. Okay, since he's going to be in Back Anime, and that coincides with Metrotham Con this year. Since he's usually at a smaller con to start the month of May, so he's not going to be a microcon, in my case. Even if I could badger the con op to do it. But getting back on topic. And she's kind of, how do I put this? If you've ever watched Mirai Nikki, Future Diary, you know Yuna Gasai, one of the most psychotic characters that Brina Palencia has ever played. Emphasis on psychotic. Where, in terms of the yandere archetype, the notice me senpai sort of character. Think Juvia from Fairy Tale, another character that Brina is synonymous with. Juvia Loxer, or another character that Brina is rather synonymous with, or even Kumaru from Rosario Vampire, though the latter isn't as much of a yandere as Juvia is, as Yuno or Juvia are, and take what Juvia does and up it to 11 to an unhealthy, psychotic, and borderline toxic manner. And that's in a nutshell. And even though I'm not on good terms with Brina Palencia, I'm pretty sure she would agree with me about that mention of That being said, however, this isn't about Brina. I was just seeing two, maybe even three of Brina's most prominent characters as a base to describe Farah's mindset and nothing else. Basically, Vic just wanted to be friends with her, no more, no less. Farah, on the other hand, wanted romantic and sexual intercourse with the guy. And when Vic said no, she got mad about it. So much so that she spun a tale and sent it to MarzGurl, who started once again demanding that Vic have his head on a plate or something. Well, they both said that Vic deserved to die or something along those lines. I don't remember the whole context of the tweets they sent out to each other a couple of weeks ago. But it was at least 2 or 3 weeks ago when this happened. As if MarzGurl hasn't been caught up in her own web of lies as it is. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. Sir Walter Scott. Marmion. I always thought that was Shakespearean. I didn't think it was Walter Scott. Hmm. That being said, imagine what would happen, hypothetically, of course. I mean, at this point, we're seeing that the mainstream media apparatus is falling apart. People are seeing that many journalists, quote unquote, are political activists. So why doesn't Mars Girl just get ahead of the game and shut her mouth? She's a clout chaser. And it's quite obvious that her husband has all the brains in the family. Do I chase clout? No. I'm a guy who's in the pursuit of justice. Which is why I've spaced, but simultaneously I've been taking some time off in intervals to take a step back and look at the 4,000 foot view of the whole landscape of this fight. But be honest with me, Farah. Do you believe half the crap that's going on in your head? You probably do. But even threatening to kill Vic, that's over the line. Is Vic perfect? No. Is Victor Joseph Mignogna perfect? No, he's not. But is he deserving of a death? But do you really think you're in the right to basically threaten to kill him if he shows up at back anime again next year? No. Do you deserve to be called out as the psycho that you claim that people call you to be? Yes. Especially now that you're basically aiding a people pleasing movement who's more interested in quick fixes and cover ups rather than actually getting to the truth of the matter. I stand with Vic now, then, forever. Leave a comment, smash the like, and sub to the channel. This is Mets2128 signing out. Goodbye and good night. Bang. That was actually one of my more calmer rants in recent